Absolutely. I look at gold, I look at silver, I look at copper. These are all precious metals or industrial metals with copper that are intrinsic to wealth preservation, to inflation preservation, to growth, and to safety. And they also have use values. And I do think there's a reason that a lot of these central banks in these nations have been stockpiling gold. And we have seen 156% increase last year over the year before in terms of the appreciation of the amount of gold that they're buying. This is all part of having the leverage.
The month of October started in a not-so-positive mood for precious metals, with metals like gold dropping very close to yearly lows. However, rising geopolitical tensions, coupled with mounting economic challenges in different regions around the world, now has investors running towards safe haven assets like gold and other metals. After its much-welcomed breakout above $2,000 per ounce on Friday, the consensus among metals analysts is that the October washout in precious metals is complete, and gold may be entering the next stage of a powerful bull market. Many analysts and popular metals investors are predicting that this upside move will finally see gold break out above $2,080 to hit new all-time highs, maybe even before the year ends. These experts are especially concerned about the performance of gold during the next 2 to 3 weeks, as they say it will be crucial in forming the basis for the coming bull run. Another thing that could further positively impact gold prices is the ongoing downsizing in the U.S. stock markets. Major U.S. stock indexes fell last week as major tech companies, including Google's parent company Alphabet, posted underwhelming earnings reports. The S&P has lost about 6% since October 11th, going from 4,376 to 4,117, a 259 points reduction in just a little over 2 weeks. Amidst all of the geopolitical tension and economic uncertainties in and out of the United States, Nomi Prins, an American economist, author, and journalist, recently discussed the assets she trusts to help her maintain her wealth while the world tries to navigate these very trying times. It's no surprise that Nomi mentions gold and silver, widely recognized safe haven assets that have provided shelter to investors for thousands of years. We will now bring you clips from Nomi's recent interview with Commodity Culture. Please watch, share, and like this video. Also, ensure you subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
I look at gold, I look at silver, I look at copper. These are all precious metals or industrial metals with copper that are intrinsic to wealth preservation, to inflation preservation, to growth, and to safety. And they also have use values. Silver and copper perhaps more so than gold, but they're also involved in our energy transitions, in our energy growth and energy demand usage. And so they have a lot of different elements to them, which are part of society, part of civilization, part of just our imprint in the world. And so for that reason, when we do have these volatile situations, and even if that comes to bear on prices moving up and down of any of these metals, I think over the long haul, you want to be owning them to preserve your wealth, and also the movement of energy processes, of products, of services, of everything else going forward. For the same reason, I look at other parts of the energy sector. I'm a big bull on energy in general because, again, the Fed can't control it. And yes, it does come to bear with so many geopolitical factors, some of which we've talked about, probably more to come. But as a way to hedge your own personal inflation and be a part of any growth, owning commodities from or companies that are specific to oil, to natural gas, to uranium, to nuclear energy, where we're moving as well, to energy transition materials, whether it's lithium or zinc or cobalt. I think these are all part of a solid portfolio that not only can withstand a lot of volatility that comes in from all these other factors, but that is part and parcel with us growing as just civilization and requiring energy to power everything we do. And some of these other precious metals, which have a foothold also on the energy side, but also have their own value from a currency and longevity and historical perspective. So to me, these are areas to be involved in. And then any technologies, particularly on the energy side, whether it's from an AI standpoint or from an efficiency standpoint, from a grid update standpoint, all of these things that are part of the infrastructure, physically and technologically, of energy, I think have also a lot of long-term upside value.
According to Nomi, investors won't just be rushing into metals as these economic and geopolitical challenges worsen. They will be looking at the broader commodity space too. This has been the typical move during moments of chaos and overwhelming uncertainty, such as the one in which we find ourselves today. But unlike anything we've seen in the past, this does not look like it will be resolved anytime soon. In the past few years, as our governments piled on more debts and the world became more and more divided along gender, religious, and racial lines, several experts have warned that we are heading into an extended period of extreme chaos and economic downturn. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio has been predicting the beginning of World War III and the impending collapse of the global monetary system for years, and it seems we are now closer than ever to that extremely dark outcome. During the interview, Nomi also discusses her thoughts on central bank digital currencies, the purported response to the world's financial problems, but no doubt nothing more than a tool of absolute control and manipulation. Let's get back to the interview.
Every single OECD country is looking at, there's 134 countries that are looking at different aspects of developing a CBDC. It is on the Fed's website. They have been, furnishing and funding white papers on central bank currencies for years. This is happening throughout the world. So we are going to a digital currency. It's really just a question of how and when. It's not like every single central bank is doing all of this analysis for the sheer hell of it. So what do you need in order to actually have a CBDC or digital currency be utilized? Well, you need a system. If you don't have a system, you cannot transact. That's just the base reality of it. And so, for example, FedNow, the system, which is a payment system that the Federal Reserve is now using with major banks and major companies, is to me a prototype of a system that will ultimately have a digitized currency attached to it, because that just is the evolution of needing the mechanism, and then having the currency sort of work on the mechanism. And so what I think it will ultimately look like is a lot of countries will start from a central bank perspective with some sort of a digitized currency or reserve currency system, which will then feed into their banking system, which could look like FedNow, or could look like some amalgamation of FedNow and other major country systems, but they can all talk to each other. I mean, that's ultimately the idea. I mean, right now there is electronic transfer all the time of central bank currencies from one central bank to another. To defend currencies, to do balance of payments, to do lots of different things. That's just what happens. So I think that will go through some logistical system like FedNow that will be global. Can that be programmed? Yeah, that is just the reality of the situation. For the same way that you need a system and a platform in order to have a central bank or digital currency. The reality is these digital currencies do have the ability to encompass lots and lots of information in them, because they are digital, that your paper dollar simply does not cover. Yes, when you transact electronically from your bank to buy something, or you pay your credit card, or you use your credit card over your phone to buy something, all these are electronic transfers. And currently they're not in digital currencies. They have a trail. A digital currency will be able to have a much larger trail and to be programmed just by default. So what does that mean for us in terms of, sort of major fears, smaller fears, security issues, privacy issues? There's a lot that comes into play. Right now, people have the choice, to an extent, to use cash in some societies. Some don't. I was just in Sweden and Norway last month, and there's no cash anywhere. Those are completely almost cashless societies for reasons, but they have a very technologically advanced society. Everybody's a bank account, everybody has a phone, but they are, and that's where the U.S. is going, and that's where other nations are going. So at that point, if everything is completely digital and there is no cash, then you don't really have control over what you choose to show and what you don't choose to show. And that does become a privacy issue, and it does enable governments and central banks to know ultimately 100% of what you're doing. That includes money. And to keep sort of mini databases on everyone, whether how that's acted upon is a separate conversation. But is the technological ability there?
Nomi's short-term prediction for gold and silver is quite bullish, but even more so in the long term. According to the popular analyst and author, there is still a very high chance that the BRICS Plus Alliance announces a gold-backed currency within the next few years. She explains that the currency might not be 100% gold-backed, but the price of the currency, or the basket of currencies from each country, will be linked to the price of gold. Whatever shape their de-dollarization plans are going to assume, Nomi is certain that it will be linked to gold or possibly even other commodities, which will greatly impact prices. Please share your thoughts, comments, and observations on Nomi's interview in the comments section below. And if you are yet to do so, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.